And we're on.
Really? It still says we're off air.
Says we're live.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I see it right there. Yeah. I don't know why mine says, oh, now it says we're live. Yay. I'm on a delay. All right, we're trying this again, folks, because we just did it a second ago, and it fucked up. And I'm hosting this show because it's supposed to be on my channel, but the gods of the internet hate me today. So we're doing it on Spaz's channel because apparently he sacrificed a goat onto the altar of the internet, and it's working for him. And I didn't do that. So this is Movie Recap. Spaz Phoenix, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for inviting me to my channel and show. So, okay, we're not gonna freaking like lag on it this time. We're talking about Captain America: Civil War. We did this about 10 minutes ago, and we got about 8 minutes into the video, and you died.
Yep, and that might happen again.
That might happen
We'll just
again.
see.
So this is why, if you look in the title or whatever, if you're watching this later on, especially, you'll see why it says attempt number 2.
Exactly. All right, so let's get right into it. Spoiler free. What'd you think of Captain America? Go.
Long and badass, and if this is supposed to be the first movie to set up Phase 3, I think it did a great job.
I agree with all of that. I agree with all of that. I thought this was a really great movie. I felt it did a lot to have a smaller plot and focus more on each individual character or some of the individual characters.
I think they did a lot. I think they did a good job of cramming a lot of people together and not making it look like they just crammed a whole bunch of people together, if that makes sense. And added some more people in there.
You know, kind of like the other DC movie that happened where they crammed a lot of people into one movie.
Yeah, but at least the guy that I don't like died in that movie.
Spoilers!
Yeah, well, I said quotation marks. There's going to be spoilers.
I know. This is spoilers from now on. Everybody who's watching, we're gonna go in depth talking about.
For anybody that hasn't seen Batman versus Superman yet, I was kind of happy with that.
But for anybody who hasn't seen Captain America: Civil War yet, we're gonna go into spoiler territory. So if you don't want to know that, don't watch this right now, and then watch it later.
I was going to say, all the people I typically go to the theater with were busy that particular weekend, so for the first time in about 10 years, I actually went and caught this show solo, which is actually a neat experience if you haven't done it in a while.
I went and saw it with my folks. They like Marvel movies, but not as in-depth as I do, but they like the Marvel movies. This was a movie about essentially Captain America trying to find Bucky. And trying to, and also trying to struggle with the idea of being the Avengers. And because the Avengers just kind of formed from the other movies and everything, but they don't really like have anybody deciding who's going to go, when they're going to go do what.
Yeah, so, because for anybody out there that's watching S.H.I.E.L.D., Coulson died.
Yeah, exactly.
You watch S.H.I.E.L.D.?
So, I watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., yeah. I actually have the new one taping.
Okay, so you don't give me any spoilers. I finally gave in and started watching it. I'm about halfway through season 2.
For anybody who hadn't seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., season 1, it's a little hard to deal with the first couple episodes, is how I always see it. But then as soon as it gets to the point where Captain America Winter Soldier happens, then it gets really good.
I think okay, if we're going to talk about the TV shows for a second, I think it suffers from the same thing that Daredevil and Jessica Jones and all them suffer from, where the writers they'll always throw in a reference every now and then where it seems like they're kind of going, we're connected to the Avengers. You like the Avengers? You like
a little bit.
Although I did see the Netflix shows first, and by comparison to watch S.H.I.E.L.D. now, it's not really fair.
Exactly, it's not. But they get to film it all in one stretch. But anyways, let's talk about Civil War. So we start off with the Avengers being Captain America, Black Widow, Falcon,
Scarlet Witch,
I think that was it. They didn't have anybody at the very beginning of the
They had
movie.
War Machine.
Was War Machine there too?
I think so.
At that beginning part?
And that fucking Crossbones dude who was in the first fight and didn't matter for the rest of the movie.
Exactly. They are on a mission to get some sort of vial that they never really go into after they go through this mission. But, you know, a lot of collateral damage happens while they're trying to fight the bad guys. And get
It's
this
the
vial.
quintessential opening scene superhero movie. We're on a mission.
Exactly.
Shit goes down.
Exactly. Because of all the collateral damage that happens on this mission, a lot of countries get together and they decide that they don't like the fact that the Avengers have no oversight, that they're just doing whatever they want to do.
Well, Scarlet Witch kind of fucks it up. Like, not putting it on her, but she tries to save Captain America from an explosion by using her, I don't know what, kinesis is the best way.
Kinesis is kind of what she has.
The blast that would have gone right to him, like straight up a building, and takes out whoever was in that building.
Well, she tries to throw the guy up into the air, and she throws him too close to that building. He blows up. He takes out 2 floors of a building. She's very devastated about it. Yeah. The countries of the world get together, and they decide that the Avengers need to be wrangled in. They need to have some oversight, and that they should be a UN entity, that a committee of the UN should decide when they go out on missions, what missions they go out on, that whole shebang.
And Iron Man is fully on it because he had that thing with that woman, her son was one of the casualties of Sokovia, which is a nice little tie into Age of Ultron, which is very cool.
Well, there's also a smaller subplot of Iron Man dealing with the fact that he's no longer running this company anymore. Pepper is. Him and Pepper are having problems. They're on a break.
I'm not going to lie. I pictured what's his name from Friends the whole time he was talk. So, we were on a break.
And so, and you know,
if I was dating Pepper and we were on a break, I'd go bang Black Widow because Scarlett Johansson. Just saying.
But I'm trying to get through it, thinking that I'm going to get kicked off the internet here in a minute. So he's dealing with all these other issues, but Iron Man decides they do regulate. My thing just sent me a thing, and so now I can't see you. There we go.
Yeah, you're good.
So anyways, I'm going to plug my phone in here for a second. So Iron Man decides they do need some oversight. Avengers talk about it. You know, some of the Avengers agree to the oversight, some don't. And
it's very neatly 5 and 5.
Very neatly 5 and 5.
Like, I will say, for the corniness of superhero movies, the fact that it falls nice and neatly in half is a little cheese.
Well, you know, it doesn't fall neatly in half, really, because Falcon, Cap, and Wanda are all on one side, and then the others are all on the other side, and then they gain these other people later, so it becomes 5 and 5.
Well, they each add a bug, if you think.
Essentially, they do each add a bug.
And then when the UN is attacked, friggin', you get the other guy.
Oh, well, hang on. So this coalition of the countries is led by the King of Wakanda, who is it's not T'Challa. I forget what T'Challa's name.
I think it's like T'Challa and T'Chaka.
T'Chaka, yes, King T'Chaka of Wakanda. But during what they decide to actually go and sign all of this stuff, the UN gets bombed. A bomb goes off, killing several members, including King T'Chaka. His son T'Challa holds him in his arms in his dying moment, kind of thing.
They have the Simba and Mufasa moment.
They do. Oh, by the way, the guy who plays T'Challa It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like, he did great. I am excited for the Black Panther movie, except for the fact that they already sort of gave us his origin stories in this movie. So I don't know what the Black Panther movie is going to be about.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing, right? And we said in the last attempt that I was going to talk about the sort of ongoing Marvel universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There are certain things I would not have watched Ant-Man at all if Ant-Man wasn't going to be involved in the Avengers.
I thought Ant-Man was going to be a flop, and it ended up being really good.
And but like it's the same thing as like I say, I don't like Captain America in general. I wouldn't have watched Captain America if there wasn't a team building thing happening.
See, I love Captain America. I would have watched that. I didn't care for the Hulk.
Well, the Hulk doesn't fit because it's friggin' Edward Norton in the Hulk movie. And then
Well, still.
Hulk
it's still
apparently.
character, but...
Speaking of, we're talking about all the different Avengers and where they fall. The two main characters that aren't there are Thor and Hulk. And apparently Hulk is going to be in Ragnarok, the next Thor movie.
Well, that's another reason why. You know, the UN is having these problems with the Avengers, because there's just two Avengers just gone.
Yeah.
As the guy that they were talking to, as kind of like their liaison guy in the government, said, you know, I'd get in really big trouble if I misplaced two nukes.
Yeah.
I'm moving my camera because I don't like where it is, and it's bothering me. And there we go. It's better now.
That's okay. Angry Mark wants to know that he's your fellow Texan.
Oh, hey, Angry Mark. What part of Texas? I live near Austin right now.
There you
in
go.
the middle of nowhere, but near Austin.
That's funny because he just asked you where you live. We've got a love connection here on YouTube. Anyways.
So we're talking about Captain America Civil War. King T'Chaka dies. They immediately identify the bomber as the Winter Soldier, or Bucky Barnes.
Or supposedly Bucky Barnes.
Supposedly.
One more thing I gotta say before we go on, though, is I'm very intrigued by the idea of Bruce Banner being on Asgard.
I'm interested in seeing what happens there.
Yes.
So, you know, then the rest of the movie is, or this next portion of the movie is kind of everybody trying to find Bucky for their own needs. Cap is trying to find him because he doesn't want everybody to kill him. This is where Black Panther gets introduced. Black Panther is after Bucky because he thinks he killed his father.
I was going to say, Black Panther kind of joins Iron Man by default because Iron Man's trying to bring Captain America in. Captain America immediately gets labeled a friggin' fugitive.
Exactly. Because
I will say, not the main part of the fight, but fucking Agent 13 made a good showing of herself.
She did.
As in not being like Captain America's fake neighbor with the dirty laundry.
I also like the fact that she was the love interest, but she wasn't, you know,
it wasn't the focus. And
it wasn't the focus.
Like, the niece of like his chick from back in the day, which ties into Agent Carter, which I still haven't watched.
I have not watched Agent Carter. My mom has seen it and she really loves it. But we could go through the movie step by step. But I want to go ahead, and I've decided fuck that format because then I'd have to remember step by step what happens in the movie. Let's do what our favorite things were in the movie.
Okay, well, see,
in the movie, I like that.
And, like we did that for Jurassic World because it was really a step-by-step thing. But right after what you're talking about here, where basically they decide that Cap's a fugitive, they basically have a little skirmish while they're leaving the what's left of the UN, and we have all the stuff with Agent 13, which is fucking awesome. And then the rest of the movie is basically two big fight scenes.
Mm-hmm.
The first one at the
which airport, were great.
Because they kind of, how can I say this? Captain America and Iron Man both kind of do their like team captains in gym class thing, and they each pick their.
Where they pick their guys, yeah.
Where they, you know, what's his name? Black Panther joins Iron Man. Everybody else,
kind of by default.
Kind of by default because he wants the guys on the other team, not because he's with Iron Man.
Exactly.
But he's got. Iron Man obviously has War Machine, obviously has Black Widow, has friggin' what's his name? Vision. Okay, Vision in the Mr. Rogers sweaters.
That's great. I love that.
Talk about Vision in the Mr. Rogers sweaters?
I actually love that moment with sorry, I hear an echo.
Scarlet Witch?
Yes. God, I can't talk with that echo, man. Oh, now it's gone. Okay, so the scene with Vision and Scarlet Witch, I love that because, you know, in the comics, they are together. They have 2 kids at some point, which, you know, let's not even talk about how that fucking happens since he's a goddamn android, but whatever. It's apparently fully functioning android.
Okay, I have to stop you for a second. We have Guapo in the comment section who says...
Hi, Guapo.
Who says, Underoos!
Hi, Guapo. So I love that moment with Scarlet Witch and Vision and how he's trying to like cook for her and trying to make her feel better. But, you know, he's an android and he can't taste things, so he doesn't know if he's making anything right.
I don't know what that is, but it's definitely not paprika or some shit like that.
Yes.
But it's like,
She's like,
super nice, super nice, super nice. She tries to leave. Mr. Stark doesn't think that's a good idea. I can't do it.
Well, you know, he just, I feel like in that very short scene, I feel like I cares for her. And that's what they were trying to get across.
And that's the same time that Hawkeye shows up, and Hawkeye basically just comes out of retirement. He's like, I'm sick of the wife. I thought I'd join you guys for a while. Like, that's basically how he's the only one that has a wife, really, because, like, Thor's got, what's her name, the scientist chick, who kind of, like, faded off into nowhere, a.k.a. they couldn't get the actress to come back. Pepper Potts and Iron Man kind of split up. So the only one with a family of any sort, Guapo says he's trying to give her the D. Awesome. The only one that really has a family, like a functional family that we know about is Hawkeye, and we only found that out in Ultron. But basically he shows up because you have to have, you know, each team, I hate to say this, I'm going to sound racist, I really don't care. Each main character has a chick on his team. Each main character has an immediate black sidekick, and then it all goes down from there.
Yeah, I did realize that. So in the main battle, also another scene that I want to talk about before we get into the fight.
Before we get to the battle, can we talk about how random the addition of Ant-Man actually was? He just sort of...
I love the addition of Ant-Man. I love how they just picked him up.
Like, they just dropped him, like, he was, like, black bagged into a van, like, he thought there was candy. He wakes up, the first thing he says is...
That sounds like how Hawkeye would pick up somebody he doesn't know.
Yeah, but it doesn't make... What I don't like is that... Was it Hawkeye or was it Falcon that brought him? Because Falcon is the one that fought him in the Ant-Man movie.
Well, Falcon knows where he is, but Hawkeye actually goes and gets him.
Because he comes out, and here's the thing, we talked about Coulson before. If you remember the first Avengers movie when Coulson's on the airplane with Captain America and he's like fanboying all over Captain America.
Ant-Man does that same shit.
Kind of does the same thing. He's like, you're Captain America. You're awesome. And he looks at Scarlet Witch. He's like, you're good too.
I love how he's like, I'm shaking your hand way too long.
This has gone on way too long. I know you're good too. And then on the other side of the coin, you've got Captain America, who's got friggin' Black Panther out of nowhere with the friggin' vibranium suit, which is awesome.
Oh, the vibranium suit is awesome.
And then you've got the whole sub story with Spider-Man.
I love that little scene with Spider-Man. I feel like it gives me just like this movie gave me energy for the Black Panther movie. This movie gave me energy for the Spider-Man Homecoming movie.
Yes. Side note, do you watch, there's a guy on YouTube, and this is where I don't read comics, so this is where I kind of get my context from. There's a guy on YouTube called Emergency Awesome, who basically breaks down movie trailer. He'll take like a 2-minute movie trailer and break it down in a 10-minute video, whatever. Supposedly, and this is only the speculation at this point, they aged down Spider-Man so they could age down Aunt May so that Iron Man could go bang Aunt May.
I didn't like it. I didn't like how young Aunt May was.
Apparently that's going to be a thing.
I hate that idea. But let's talk about the things that I like. I do like the guy that they played for Spider-Man. And when the trailer with Spider-Man came out, the internet was flipping its shit because in that trailer, Spider-Man almost looks like he squints because the black part of his mask, like the black part of his eyes, like squint down. And everybody was freaking out, like, how the fuck is he able to do that? Blah blah blah. That's so stupid.
That apparently that's how they're modifying the origin story. Is Spider-Man is largely going to be developed with Stark Tech. So
well, I like the fact this movie because in his costume that you see for like 2 or 3 seconds on YouTube that Tony pulls up, yes, it has goggles on it, and he explains, well, you know, my sensors got bumped up to like an 11, and so I used the goggles to kind of focus myself, and that's what that part of the fucking suit is to help him, is to do what the goggles did. Essentially narrow. And that's why he can fucking squint. I just remember the internet losing their shit about it, and then they explained it, and it makes sense.
It's not just like a hood. Like he's not like, okay, we got Guapo in the comment section. I'll just say it. He's not just walking around like a luchador with a hood on. He's he's actually got tech going on. I do like the fact that Marvel was able to do this deal with Sony where they can trade Spider-Man. And use him in their movie, and he's going to be in the movies going forward as we get to Infinity War Part 1 and 2.
I'm excited for this rendition of Spider-Man.
Yeah,
because I think they're gonna knock it out of the park.
The back end of this deal, though, and this is the other part that I love, Sony still owns the Spider-Man character, but because the Spider-Man character is in the Avengers universe now, Sony has financial control over the new Spider-Man movies, but Marvel has creative control.
That's the best way to do it.
It is the best way to do it, and it really means that they're halfway to getting one of their characters back. The other thing is they're using this this working relationship that they have with Sony as a framework, and they're trying to get Wolverine back from Fox.
I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like Fox now is doing a good job with the X-Men franchise in general.
I could deal with him doing as a cameo, though, because like by the time we get to Infinity War, it's going to be like everybody, because I mean, your boy from Guardians is like all the Guardians are going to be in it, which means we might see Drax versus the Hulk, which is awesome. I mean, it's like we're never going to see like Marvel and DC work together on something.
No.
But at least to see like all these characters that Marvel lost to other companies so that they could make movies out of them, to see them get some of them back and have this big amalgamated universe again that's sort of been splintered off movie-wise is kind of cool. And it means we kind of get to treat it like wrestling, where we're paying attention to what's happening behind the scenes as much as we are paying attention to the movie.
Exactly. I want to go back and I want to talk about a few of the things I don't like about this movie. There are a few, not a lot, but a few. I didn't like the fact that I love the humor in Marvel movies and how even in a serious moment they can have humor. The first half of this movie is pretty humorless. Like, there's not a lot of humor until about the second half, beginning with the part where they have a Volkswagen Beetle as their getaway car, and they're made fun of for it. And Falcon's sitting in the front seat, and he's like, scoot the seat. I don't know why that part's so fucking funny to me.
Yeah.
But so there's not a lot of humor until the second half of the movie. And okay, so the whole plot of the movie, super spoiler alert, they find out they kind of do a twist at the very end, but you find out that this guy who's been trying to get alone with Bucky and get this information, you find out that there are other Winter Soldiers, that there's like 6 other Winter Soldiers, and so everybody's freaking out. Exactly. And then the main bad guy, who you find out later is just trying to tear the Avengers apart, kills all of them. And I feel like that plot line alone, the fact that there are other Winter Soldiers, and that plot line alone could be a plot line to a whole movie that I feel was wasted.
Yeah, I think it's really, it kind of makes him like, okay, obviously the guy's like avenging what he feels is a wrong, like his whole family was destroyed in his view by the Avengers. But basically, he killed 5 science projects and made like 10 people destroy each other and dragged them halfway around the world to show them a video that you could have sent in a tweet. I'm just
exactly that you could, like, they could have storyline wise invented a number of ways for them to end up in a chamber, kind of like they were in.
I did like the underground prison.
For them.
I did like the underground prison thing.
Yes.
Not quite sure why, but
I didn't like the
section named No Monkey Business says we should both kill ourselves. So that's awesome.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
I don't really give much what's the word I'm looking for?
I just thought it was.
That's the word I'm looking for, is fuck off. No one cares. Your name is Monkey whatever.
Yeah.
Your opinion literally means nothing to me.
Yeah.
Literally nothing to me. and your attempts to make us be hurt on the inside are laughable at best.
But he's giving us views, and Guapo says 0 fucks. 0 fucks.
0
but
fucks.
No, getting back to the raft, though, apparently what that prison is called, like that whole underground surfacing prison thing looks like something Tony Stark probably invented.
Yeah, or his father.
But
it's definitely built by the Russians.
Yeah. I do think they had to hit on at some point, like, what the hell's his name? Iron Man's father was big in creating Winter Soldier, or not the Winter Soldier, but the Super Soldier serum in general, and knew Steve Rogers, and friggin' Iron Man has like this shitty relationship with his dad. I feel like in one of the movies they eventually had to address that in some way. So to say that his, Captain America's friend was the one that killed Tony's parents was a nice way to tie it up.
Exactly. I liked that. Let's go back to the fight scene, because really that's like the set piece of this whole movie, is that mega fight scene where, where both
I like the
sides
fight scene in the airport more than I like the one in the cave.
Yeah, I liked that one. I liked how Spider-Man had all the quips and was like talking the whole time. I liked that the other superheroes mentioned something about it. Falcon's like, I don't feel like you've been in a fight before. There's not usually this much talking.
Yeah, sorry, man. It's my first fight. But here's the thing, and this is even like Spider-Man with all the jokes and whatnot makes sense, and to a lesser extent Ant-Man as well. Ant-Man and Spider-Man are where the comedy comes from, right? Because they were just recruited into the fight after the fact. They aren't the ones that are super upset, super pissed off, super invested in the fight. They were just recruited for either side.
They were just brought. Nobody's mad at anybody. They're not mad at anybody. They're just here.
They've just been like, they were last picked for volleyball, and they're just there. They're glad to be on the team. But they don't have like the super long-term, like deep pissed off investment in the match. So it made sense that the comedy, the lighthearted like balance of the movie would come from them.
It was. Also, Ant-Man becoming Giant Man. Awesome.
Yes. All of my yes. When he said, yeah, I tried this one time before and it ripped me apart, I thought he was going to do the super micro thing that he did. And then they swerved it the other way, and I'm glad they didn't give that away in the pre.
I knew Giant Man was going to happen because our friend Alex fucking spoiled it for me, because he's an asshole like that. Even though I told him not to spoil it for me, he totally fucking spoiled it for me.
That's not nice.
It's not nice. Spoilers are not nice. That's why we said ultra mega spoilers at the beginning of this video.
Ultra mega spoilers. Especially in Attempt 2.
Ultra mega spoilers. And then the fight scene at the end with Bucky and Cap and Iron Man. I like this fight for a number of reasons. One, it made Iron Man look really tough. And I know that makes it sound like we're talking about wrestling, but they did make Iron Man look strong. Because he
Iron Man also made the John Cena of this movie look strong.
Because Iron Man fought both the Winter Soldier and Captain America together. He blows off Bucky's arm at some point.
Yes. There's one sequence, and again, it's going to kind of sound like I'm talking about spots in wrestling, but there's one spot where it's kind of shot like down the hallway, and you've got Captain America and Winter Soldier on either side of them, and they're both beating up Iron Man.
Trading blows, yeah.
No, they keep trading off the shield. Like, they're both using it as a weapon at once. It's just really well done. My favorite spot, I got two favorite spots. When they come to the airport and everybody kind of starts fighting each other, but then they back up and you get the two battle lines, and the two battle lines crash into each other for that one pose where it's like all six versus all six. The other is at the end of the second fight when you've literally got the Iron Man and Cap face to face.
Yes, with the shield and
with the
Iron
shield
Man
and the blaster.
shooting.
Tell me something though.
Yes.
Tell me something, because we saw it in Ultron, and we've got no reason to think that anything's changed since Ultron, really. Tony's team should have outnumbered Cap's team by like a bazillion, because Tony, in theory, still has access to the Iron Legion.
No, the Iron Legion got all blown up. No. You're talking about from Age of Ultron. When
I'm talking about from Ultron, Legion, where they had all the peacekeeper,
all the suits.
drones.
They destroyed all of them because Ultron had infected all of those suits, and they had to destroy every single version of that suit, or else Ultron would have gotten away. So all the Iron Legion got blown up.
Somebody like Tony Stark can't create more. And
I assume that after the Ultron incident that he caused, that he wouldn't build any more
drones. Yeah, I guess that's true. I do. I was looking forward to two things, and I kind of got one, because we kind of because there's no individual. The only characters that don't have individual movies are Hawkeye and Black Widow, and they kind of come as a package. And we got to see them fight.
And Wanda. Wanda didn't have an individual movie.
Yeah, but but Wanda's newer to the Avengers. I'm saying, like, from the beginning of the Avengers, it's those two.
Oh, yeah.
You got four guys that are coming from four great movie franchises, and then there's, like, these two sort of, not sidekick characters, but sidekick characters. So, obviously...
Well, they're humans. They're normal-esque humans.
Yeah. So you knew they were going to fight each other, which was great. The other thing, like I said, and I know this is racist or whatever, but we already said Iron Man and Cap each have, like, their black soldier sidekick. I really wanted to see more of a fight just between War Machine and Falcon.
Let's talk about War Machine for a second, and the fact that, spoiler, he gets paralyzed in this movie as everybody's trying to get away.
I'm sorry. I don't care how much armor you're wearing. He should be dead.
Well, he still got fucked up. He broke part of his back. But the suit cushioned him enough that whatever.
I feel like he's still going to be War Machine. They're just like, they're going to play it up like his entire suit is one big prosthetic now.
That's essentially what's going to happen. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit. I feel like, I didn't want War Machine to die, because I don't want any of them to die, because I'm emotionally invested in all these characters, because Marvel does a good job in making me emotionally invested in these characters. I feel like it would have been very impactful had Rhodey died.
It would have been. I think that they didn't have to do something that effective, because the effect on Iron Man came from when he found out what happened to his dad.
Exactly.
Like what happened at the airport was you had this big fight, and it looks like everybody sort of went to their neutral corners, and Iron Man sort of, like, even after all the supporters of Captain America were jailed and whatever, and they're like, you can go to him, but you got to go to him as a friend. So he went to him as a friend. They're fixing all their shit up, and you're like, oh, the fight's over. And then they drop the bomb about his dad, and I'm like, round two.
Well, really, he was only mad about his mom getting killed.
Yeah. Well,
fuck my dad. You killed my mom.
But it's like, I think the effect that Rhodey dying would have had, you had with the reveal about his parents.
That's true, but
I
I don't
think
know. I feel like it would have been pretty impactful had Rhodey died, but I didn't want him to die at the same time.
I don't want him to die. I kind of wanted, like, and this is not even because I don't like the character. I know from people that do read comics, because I don't. Apparently, there's a point in the comic world where where Captain America does die, and Winter Soldier takes up the Iron Man mantle. I thought that would have been a really cool story to see. And
oh wait, can you say that again? You were a little jittery there.
I've heard from people that people that are more into comics than I am, that eventually in the comics, Steve Rogers dies and Bucky Barnes takes up the mantle of Iron Man, or of Captain America, rather.
Of Captain America. See, that's what I heard when you said takes up the mantle of Iron Man. I'm like, I don't feel like he said that right, but you did say it right.
Yeah, I misspoke. And it's cool because I do like the Winter Soldier. I think the Winter Soldier is badass. I think if you've got Iron Man and War Machine on one side, and you've got like sort of animatronic Captain America and Falcon on the other side, you've got a more even fight.
Let's talk about all in all. All in all, I feel like this movie was a lot of setup into movies. It did what Batman versus Superman wanted to do. It had all of this setup for future movies, but it did it good in a way that, you know, there wasn't too much shit going on. They had everything it needed to, with a few, like, you know, things that like the fucking not doing anything. That was a little dumb. But
what?
The 6 Winter Soldiers that he then kills and doesn't do anything with them.
Yeah, I just think like my whole thing was I wanted to see the fight happen. I didn't care. I didn't really care, and this is probably a really bad from a storytelling point of view. I didn't care how we got there because the stuff, no matter what they did in this movie, the stuff has been building, and they've done it well. They've built the stuff between Cap and Iron Man since the first Avengers. They didn't get along in the first movie. They all went sort of their own way, and then Coulson dying sort of brought the Avengers together. And then in the second one, when Tony starts getting into the artificial intelligence, they almost come to blows again. Which just thinking about that part in Ultron brings me to another great point where we didn't have Hulk, we didn't have Thor, because they're going to be together in the next Thor movie. But I kind of feel like we know where they would have been if they were there. Like, we already know that Thor is on Cap's side with a lot of the arguments they have and whatever, and Banner is kind of Team Stark because they do the science stuff together, they do the pursuing and the logic point of view.
Well, he definitely would have been on Stark's side because I feel like, especially with how his power is, how he becomes the Hulk and everything, he would be very much into safeguards and oversight as to when they are going to use
Stark would be the one most likely, if he can't do it himself, Stark would be the one most likely to come up with a way to control his powers. And Stark also has Black Widow on his side that can give him the lullaby thing that they do.
Exactly. But all in all,
he was really good in this movie. I have to say this too. Black Widow, really good linchpin between the two main characters in this movie.
Exactly. All in all, I really love this movie. I'm excited for Spider-Man Homecoming, which I was very about. I'm excited about Black Panther, though I don't know what they're going to do a Black Panther movie of, because I feel like they did his origins in this movie. So I don't know what the Black Panther movie is going to be about.
Thing where somebody else from the UN sort of targets him personally for supporting the bad side of the... Because you basically got two different Avengers groups now, right? And you got the ones that are kind of following the law with Iron Man and whatnot, and you got the ones that are kind of the rebels.
Well, I think the only ones left now are Rhodey, who's hurt, Vision, and Iron Man. Because Black Widow kind of betrays them at the end, and Tony essentially says they're going to come after her, and she fucking leaves and is gone for the rest of the movie. I assume she joins up with Cap. Everyone else is in jail, and Cap and Bucky go and break them out.
They go and get breaking out, but then you saw the post-credit scenes, I'm assuming.
Yes.
And Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's
Yeah.
in that
Spoiler
too.
for the post-credit scene. If anybody didn't stick around for the post-credit scene, but at this point in the Marvel, if you don't stick around for the post-credit scene, you're an idiot. They're in Wakanda with Black Panther. They're putting Bucky.
They put Bucky to sleep because he says until they can get rid of the programming in his head, essentially, that he's too dangerous to be around.
Yeah,
that essentially somebody could say
they put one-armed Winter Soldier back in the fridge, and basically Captain America says, you know, if they figure out that you're the one helping us, they're going to come after you. And he's like, oh, well, just let them. And you pull away, and it's the big fucking palace in the jungle. I could see them making a whole story of like Thunderbolt Ross, the big military guy that's trying to control them, takes a small force to Wakanda because they're like housing these rebels. I could see them making a movie out of that. I think it could be good. Obviously, you could keep Cap in the mix there because the movies are not specific anymore. I mean, Hulk's going to be in the next Thor movie. Black Widow, Hawkeye, whatever, have been in the other movies in the background. Winter Soldier is in, obviously, Captain America.
You know what they could also do?
In it.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to most? Which movie are you looking forward to most?
I'm actually kind of looking forward to the Doctor Strange movie that's coming out, but I'm really afraid that this is the one that Marvel bombs. But you know, Marvel's been doing such a great job with movies. Even if Doctor Strange is like fucking just awful, which it won't be, but even if it's just fucking awful, just bad,
but
bad,
they'll wrangle it back in. They'll wrangle it back in because I think Ant-Man on its own, I would not watch again. That's just me.
See, I loved Ant-Man, but that's just me.
But I like the way they used Ant-Man because it's very honest about, yeah, I am kind of this dorky guy that's new to the fight. I am, you know, this is where I am. This is what I can offer type thing. He's not trying to be up here and be one of the Avengers. He's like, he's supporting.
I'm just here, man.
I'm just here. And the same thing with Spider-Man, and it works like that. I'm really, you know, Thor was never a movie series that I was interested in on its own. The more I look, the more Avengers like together stuff we get, the more I go back and look at the individual movies and enjoy them more. I'm really looking forward to Ragnarok.
I want to see what happens in Doctor Strange. I like Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm not one of those girls that thinks he's like super attractive though. I think he's a great actor. It does make me die a little inside every time he gets more and more popular, because the more movies he takes on, that's the longer I have to wait for season 4 of Sherlock.
There you go. I don't know.
But you know,
I'm looking like for Doctor Strange. It's one of those things. Again, like I don't read comics. I know the basic superheroes. I know Spider-Man. I know Batman. I know Superman. I don't know anything about Doctor Strange, and that's why I'm looking forward to it.
Here's what Doctor Strange is going to help though. As probably everybody knows, Netflix was putting together a little mini like Defender series with Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and Daredevil, but also there's another character called Iron Fist.
How good is Jessica Jones?
It's amazing. I love Jessica Jones. A whole different kind of superhero movie. I love it.
Yeah.
So there's another series. It's gonna be Iron Fist. I love Iron Fist. He's like kind of a kung fu master type of guy. But Iron Fist's origins are very steeped in the mystics and mystical stuff. And they've been having a hard time trying to conceptualize what that world will be, because there's nothing really like it right now in the Marvel Universe. I feel like once we see Doctor Strange, it will help series like that. It adds another dimension to the Marvel Universe, because you have Thor, who's in Asgard mysticism, but not really in Thor. You have the science. You have the Guardians of the Galaxy that are way out in the universe, and it just adds
Guardians
another.
2 is coming in soon too.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too, but.
He's Star-Lord, damn it!
It's going to add this whole other level of to the Marvel universe with magic, essentially. What will be magic?
I think in phase 3 of Marvel in general, like I say, we got on the movie side, we've got Guardians 2, we've got Black Panther, we've got Doctor Strange, we've got the Spider-Man movies. We've eventually got Infinity War Chapter 1. On the TV side of things, I'm sure S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well, also, you missed Captain Marvel's going to be in there, too.
Captain Marvel and Thor Ragnarok as well. On the TV side of things, you've got S.H.I.E.L.D., which I'm catching up on. Season 3 Daredevil, Season 2 Jessica Jones. Luke Cage should be good. Iron Fist I haven't heard about, but I'll check it out. I know there's this big civil war between Marvel movie producers and Marvel TV producers. I really hope we get some kind of crossover between the two by the time we get to Infinity War. Because like I say, Infinity War seems like this thing where you want to have the whole world in one movie, and I really want to accentuate that idea as much as possible. And we need to find 2 more of the stones before we can do the Infinity Gauntlet bit.
That's true. Well, there is always Thanos could have them already. I don't think he does. I bet Captain Marvel will find one.
It's right now. Okay, quick check though. Like, what do we have? We have the Tesseract. We have the Ether.
The Tesseract's one. The Ether's one. The Mind Stone was what Loki's scepter is, and then we have the Power Stone from Guardians. So we have 4 of them.
So that's 4 out of 6. Apparently, Doctor Strange is involved with one. I would love to see one. I would love to see one come from one of the TV shows. Oh,
I don't know that that's going to happen.
Also, we're getting Punisher on Netflix.
What?
Punisher on Netflix as well.
Oh, yeah, and Punisher's going to be on there, too.
I'm sorry, John Bernthal as Punisher is fucking badass. Especially if you're a Walking Dead fan, because he was Shane.
I want to say that I won't be excited for Captain Marvel until I find out who they have casted.
Okay, you got to tell me what Captain Marvel is.
Ms. Marvel, long blonde hair, the black leotard, gold lightning bolt. She has human and Kree DNA. She's kind of like DC's or Marvel's version of Wonder Woman.
Oh, Captain Marvel's a woman.
She can fly. Yes, Captain Marvel's a woman. She used to be Ms. Marvel, but now she's kind of taken on Captain Marvel.
Okay. Oh, you know who else is in Thor Ragnarok, now that I've thought of it? Because you watch S.H.I.E.L.D., Lady Sif is in Thor Ragnarok.
As much. Let's go ahead and wrap this up, because I got to go home. I have to walk all the way back. Another house right now. Overall, I would say that we liked Captain America Civil War. It was a good movie. I'm probably going to buy it just like I buy all the other Marvel movies. Marvel does a great job. Is it as good as the Avengers movie? Because it seems to be the bar.
Which Avengers movie are you comparing it to?
The first one. Avengers, just the Avengers. Because that's the bar, is the first Avengers movie.
I would say for where we are now, it's as good as Marvel for where we were then.
Exactly. I don't think it's as good as Avengers.
By the end of the whole, like if there is an end, like when we get to 2020 and we've had Infinity War Part 2, and then things are kind of done after that for this thing, because that'll be like 20 movies. I don't think this will be seen as one of the better standalone movies, but this is the jump off point for everything in Phase 3, and this is, I think, one of the most crucial links in the entire Marvel story.
It is a good story builder. It builds the story for Phase 3 and moving on into the future.
Only thing I don't really like they fought, and then they just kind of like, okay, we'll agree to disagree. Like, it was a little anticlimactic that way, but they both fought till they couldn't stand. So I'll take what I can.
We agree to disagree.
We agree to disagree. Oh, by the way, here's
Kind of
my
thing.
phone. You know, you can call me on my cell phone, but we might kill each other.
Maybe. All right, so I'll wrap this up. Thank you, Spaz, for hosting today.
Well, your internet doesn't like you at all. And you froze. Let me give you a couple seconds to see if you unfreeze. Kristen. Are you going to unfreeze? Okay, pretty sure this is it, guys. For Kristen and myself, thanks for watching. It's a bit of a clusterfuck. We're still trying to get the whole hang. And there she goes. We're gonna get the whole hangout thing out of the way, and it's gonna be better. We're gonna figure this out. It's not gonna be so choppy. We're not gonna have to do it in 2 takes. But this was the movie recap for Captain America: Civil War. I liked it. I'm gonna go probably see it again in the theaters. And I can't wait to see what Marvel is going to do next. For those of you on this channel that that follow me for wrestling and shit like that, when I do a Q&A, please feel free to add any Marvel-related shit when I do a Q&A. I've been Spaz. She was Kristen. I can't even do the...
I came back.
Hey!
I feel like that was a perfect time for my internet to die, because I was like, and now to wrap up, dead.
I was gonna say I just said goodbye for you, and then you came back. So it's
Bye,
your
everyone.
show. It's your show. You can take us out.
Thanks everybody for watching. I know it was kind of rambly, but that's what we fucking do. It's rambly. It's just what it is.
Next week. We're gonna do it next week when we talk about Extreme Rules.
And I'll try not to drop 8,000 times.
Well, if you drop, I'll have Guapo to talk to until you do.
Exactly.
Guapo was in the comment section sticking up for us against the Monkey Man.
Really? What else happened?
I have no idea. I'm only half watching it. There's some other people joining us in the chat that I really kind of have ignored in this video, and I'm sorry about that. But
I'm sorry. I can't. I was the one watching the chat last time, and I fucking can't do it because internet.
Basically, Guapo's sad that he didn't get to join us. Weston's kind of hitting on you a little bit, and some dude that's a monkey wants us to die, and that's adorable.
See how much we cared? We didn't even, like, that was the one message we saw from you, asshole.
Yeah. So, even though this is your show, tell them where they can find you.
This is my show on Spaz's channel, but you can find us on the Black Cat Feline if I ever figure out how to fucking make that work. You can find me on Twitter at Black Cat Feline on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram at Black Cat Feline, but I don't do as much Instagram as I should. I'm probably gonna do a little more now. Spaz, since you're my guest on this show, tell them where they can find you. How about on this channel that we're hosting on?
You guys can find me on this channel. You can find me at Spaz Phoenix. You can find me facebook.com/Spaz Phoenix. You can look me up on Instagram /Spaz Phoenix, but I don't use it that much. And yeah, I've got a couple of pages on Facebook. This channel has a fan page that I hardly use. You can also check out the Wrestling Realm and the Breakers of the Fourth Wall, which I haven't plugged on here in a long time. So there's that. Kristen, thank you for allowing me to co-host / host the
host / host.
Co-host.
I'm gonna figure out how to do this next time, guys. I promise. I'm gonna work on it. We're gonna see what fucking happens. And I'm not going to spend 2 hours trying to make it work. I'm going to bed now. Thanks, Guapo.